そこで太宰君は伝言を数値化、心拍数を記録させ、それを僕が政府権限で閲覧解読しているのです。
What? Hey everyone, I'm going to react to Bungo Stray Dogs Season 4 Episode 11, Jailbreak. And oh, I feel like it'll be too soon. I don't know. No, Jailbreak. I'm thinking about Fyodor and Dazai, up there in that jail that supposedly you can't get out of or whatever. But I'm like, I don't know who's jailbreaking, but I guess we'll see. Last episode, it was revealed that Tachihara, either way, that he was the fifth member of the Haunting Dogs. He's the dude that killed himself, little brother, and he wants revenge on Yosano. And I'm like, whatever. So, and then all the other dogs showed up there, and she's there, and she's like willing to accept her fate. And then Tachihara pulled the gun on him, and then you hear a shot, and I'm like, I don't think she's dead. But yeah, so that's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys have my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/feelingmini. And now let's start this episode. And here we go. Okay, I know there's still hope. But why you're acting like it's gonna be easy? You've been battling Fyodor for how long now? And there's 5 of them. Well, is Nicola actually dead? I know he severed himself in half or something or other like that. But was that just like a parlor trick? Is he still alive somewhere? I don't know. And then you have other people that you don't know who they are. And you thinking in 10 days you're gonna... I don't know. You know what I said? Fyodor's men. Fyodor's men. When especially and Kyuka was like, yes, we did it or something or other like that. Dazai and Fyodor are stuck together, right? And they're like, okay, the first person that determines the other person's mode of communication to the outside world basically wins the game they're playing, right? And then you have Moshitaro in the car, you have Asushi in the car, you have Kyoka there, Ango's there, and he just basically outright telling them, okay, I'm the mode of communication, like Dazai's communicating with me or whatever. Just basically tell them everything. And I'm here sitting, I'm hearing all of this, and I'm like, what do I feel like Fyodor is listening to this conversation somehow? Like, he's now aware of Dazai's mode of communication because of that particular scene that's happening. And while that was going on, Kyoka, I don't know, I kept being suspicious of Kyoka for some reason. Like, the way she was looking at Ango as he was telling them how him and Dazai were communicating. I'm like, could she be sort of like unknowingly, I don't know why her in particular, but could she be like unknowingly giving Fyodor, this information or something? I don't know. And so after Ango and Moshitaro were leaving, and they just like, yes, we did it. And I'm like, why are you so happy right now? Because it didn't seem right with me until they started talking about now that they have hope. Like their reaction right then and there, I'm like, it felt to me like, okay, we fooled them, now we know, or something or other like that. That's how I understood that reaction. So that's why I'm like, Fyodor's men, like maybe he has someone that's basically like two people basically that are sort of like taking Asushi and Kyoka's appearance, or something or other like that. That's what I was thinking. So that's why I said that. But it seems like it's the real them. And they were like, no, we have hope because they have 10 days before they write on the other page. So if you just like find them, defeat them, get that page, and write our innocence basically on the other side of the page, then we're gonna be okay. And I'm like I was saying, you have been battling for the Fyodor for months now, maybe years. You have not gone anywhere with him. So how do you expect to find this page and defeat the decay of angels, which consists of 3 other people whose ability you don't know? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we could take it as it's a good sign or whatever. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm glad that Ungo actually knows that they are innocent. Because I was like, when he was with Chief Tanida and he was telling the others that he was gonna find the culprit and kill him or them himself or something or other like that. And I was asking myself during that discussion that if he actually believes that the agency killed them, or he knows that they didn't kill they didn't shoot at him, and he's actually going after the decay of angels. He knew that they were innocent because him and Dazai were already in cahoots since the beginning, I guess. And yeah, so I'm like, yay. And then when Moshitaro, poor Moshitaro, he was in prison. Writing to his dead friend and just basically lying about his living conditions and stuff. And then Kyoka and Asushi, like, they just got there and they're like, okay, we're here to save you. You're gonna help us basically prove our innocence. And he's like, I'm not going with you. I don't want to go anywhere. Like, I don't have anything outside. That's our world. That, the NDC was used to being in prison. I'm like, oh. And I was thinking, you and Rumple are friends now, so why would you not help them? But then Kyoka brought out the manuscript thing, and he's like, Rumple told me that if I said that would mean something to you and you're gonna help us or something. So she was basically blackmailing him with the final manuscript. And as they were leaving, he just kept making these excuses up because he was so angry that they were using the manuscript to get him to do what they wanted him to do. So he was like, I'm gonna get them captured. So he kept making up these excuses about something that was wrong with him. And Kyuka would always be threatening to stab him at particular points. He was calling acupuncture, but it was, and he would all immediately feel better. And they were trying to escape like that. They were going like that until they noticed that, okay, people in the building, the policemen in the building were leaving. And then they were like, okay, what's going on? And then they look outside and then it's Ungo. And you see the immediate sort of fear in Moshitaro's face. And I'm like, why are you acting like that? And then he started talking about how there's this criminal organization called the Seventh Agency. And that Ungo was the leader of that agency, and that agency was basically commits all kinds of crime, erases all kinds of, they just do bad stuff, That Ungo was the leader of that. I'm like, huh? What the heck? And he's like, he's basically saying that that agency was the one that had me that held me hostage, that captured me. I don't know, had me prisoner. Yeah, held me prisoner for so long, and then Fyodor came and saved me, and then wanted his help for doing his thing. So he's like, the way Ungo was there basically pushed him to want to help those two, So they broke into a bank. They took money, they were stealing money or whatever, and as he was walking around with the money, he was erasing evidence of the crime that they basically committed. So as they were walking in front of cameras, the cameras couldn't detect them or anything because he was erasing the evidence of their crime. And at one point, Asushi heard something, and then he pushed Moshitaro into a corner over there, and Uncle was like walking up to them, and then basically they were trapped. The corridor that they were in, there was no way out. There was like 3 vaults there, and at first I was like, I was asking myself if Kyuka, when he was in prison, Kyuka just like created this hole with Demon Snow, and then they fell into it and got him out, right? So I'm thinking, okay, couldn't she use Demon Snow again to create doors and get out? But then I'm like, that might make some noise, and they might not even have time to escape. So I'm like, I don't know. So Mushitaro remembered this conversation that him and his dead friend had about how to escape such a situation, and then they used that to escape. When Ango got into that room, the vault that they thought they were in, and I know he said that there was no evidence of an ability being used or them creating a hole or something or other like that. I know he said that, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, that door that they blew up and fell, the vault door that fell onto the floor, and I'm thinking maybe there's a hole down there, and then the thing fell on it, basically camouflaging them, and then when they leave, they're just gonna slash the door open and then get out and leave another place. That's what I was thinking, but nope, they were actually in a previous vault that was closer to the exit, and then they got out that way, and they were thinking, okay, now we're gonna go and steal a car and get away from here. And then Ango showed up and basically revealed what his ability was. I don't think I knew. Wait, did I know that he had an ability? I don't think I knew. They've mentioned someone being able to read memories and stuff, but I didn't put that in relation to Ango. Turns out that it was him. And he's like, okay, this money or whatever, I use it to figure out your escape route and all of that. And because of what Rumpos told them about the person that being able to read memories, and since their own memories has been altered with the book, if the person reads your memory, he's going to read that you committed the crime. So he's going to be like, you're guilty and you're done for. So they're thinking, okay, we're done for. And then you hear the gunshots, face to black. The same thing that happened last episode with Yusano supposedly death, when Tashi Hara was shooting, and we didn't see the aftermath of that. Basically the same thing that happened here, but in this particular case, he was just faking their deaths, and then they fell, and then after that he was carrying them away, and then he's like, I think they were basically asking him why he was helping them, or did he actually believe that they were innocent and stuff. And then that's when he asked Kyoka, do you remember that message that you got, about turning on the sprinklers and whatnot? I'm the one that sent it to you. Daza has been communicating with me. And then, what the freak? Asushi asked him, how is Daza, I think it was Asushi, how is Daza communicating with you from his prison over there? And then he's like, every prisoner has sort of like these pacemakers, something that's checking on their vital signs or whatever, and he's using his heartbeat to send code messages. I'm like, what the does I? Could it be any more cooler? Oh my gosh, he's using his heartbeat to send out coded messages to Ongo. What the fuck? Oh my goodness. That's why I'm worried. The fact that he said it out loud. If he had kept it inside of himself, I would have been like, okay, but I guess he needed to convince them that he's on their side. That's why he's telling them all these things. But then he said it out loud. So I'm worried that Fyodor now knows that he's their, like, the mode of communication. Like, then he took the door, like, okay, let's go somewhere safe. Lucy. who invited them. Oh, she walked into the military police officers or whatever and was basically shouting that the associate and the others were innocent. Oh, she was advocating for them. So they got in there, and before they even got in there, they were talking about Mushitaro was like, why would we believe you? Well, you are the leader of the seventh agency. And he's like, oh, so you've heard about that? He's like, I'm not part of the agency. That you don't lie to Mushitaro so that he doesn't confide, so that he keeps himself away from Ango, you know. And when they got into the room, Mushitaro just like asked him, are you really not the leader of the seventh agency? And he's like, no. And then he asked them if he actually used their services before. And he's like, yes, I did. And when he said that Mushitaro was about to leave, right? He's like, then I have nothing to do with you. But then Ongo said he only used it once. And it was to erase Dazai's crimes, so that he can have a life outside of the poor mafia and join the agency, you know. And he did that because of their common friend that died, you know. So because of that, Mushitaro now is like, okay, now I'm gonna tell you what you need to know, and you're not gonna like the answers that I give you. And he's like, okay, the first thing, who's the decay of angels? What is the decay of angels? And they told him about this, this terrorist group with 5 members. I thought he was going to give us more information about the other 3, but no, just talked about Nikolai and Fyodor, the demon Fyodor, and the jester Nikolai, and then 3 other members, and where one is basically like on top of everybody else, and their main goal is the erasure of state. What does that mean? I mean, what does the erasure of state? I'm like, okay, the way they react is like impossible, you know. What I do, you know, their reaction was so. I'm like, erasure of state. What is the erasure of state that they were so like worried about? Like, I don't know. Someone explain it to me. What is the erasure of state? Erasure of state. You know, at first when it's an erasure of state, I don't think it's what I'm thinking. Like, there were many things going through my mind trying to figure out exactly what that means. At one point I thought about like them basically erasing like the whole of like, okay, let's say you have, you know, the New York state, like he's gonna erase the whole of New York. I don't know. Or are they talking about basically like the government structure? Like, you know, you have the state, you have the Senate, you have all those things, you have all these agencies, you have all those things that govern the state. Is the erasure of all of that? And then it's sort of like what used to be like a state sort of like basically becomes like a land with no governing body or something or other like that. Is that what they're talking about? Like, I don't know. And so basically they're saying that they are going to the first, since the erasure of a state thing is, in order to use the page you have to write this sort of like narrative that makes sense, that leads to the erasure of the state. And in order to do that, they are putting things together until the something of the moon, the next full moon or something or other like that, and then they're gonna write what they need to write in the book to actually accomplish what they want to do. And then after that, they're gonna go global or something or other like that. I don't know. I need to. I'm probably gonna be as I'm editing this reaction, probably gonna be focusing more on what they were talking about there, because I feel like I might not have gotten everything, you know. But yeah, And then whilst there was a shot where they were basically showing us the decay of angels, but there were these other three people sort of like in shadow, like two people in shadow didn't show us what they look like or anything, and then one standing on top of them, they did show Fyodor and Nikolai. So I'm like, I don't know. See, that's what I'm so suspicious now of everybody. Like last episode, Tashihana or Rao, whatever. Me. Seems like I wrote Tashihara. Tachihara, that's used to be someone that I would look at in the Paul Mafia and be like, you're not that strong or whatever. Turns out this person is the fifth member of the Hunting Dogs. Who else is gonna turn out to be somebody? Like, I don't know. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can do so by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/feelingme, and you can also see the photo for this reaction there as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Shall we dance? Shall we? Let me see you move. Shall we dance?